DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hi there, folks. Welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, and today we're going to have a special guest, Dr. Locke Carricker, and he is Associate Professor and Director of the Swine Medicine Education Center at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. It's going to be a great show. We're glad you joined us, and we'll be back right after the break.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America, a place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value. Hi there, folks. Welcome to DocTalk, and Locke, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to be at Iowa State University, my alma mater. So
Absolutely. Welcome back.
Thanks. And we're going to talk today with Dr. Locke Carricker about some things going on here at the Swine Medicine Education Center, which he's the director of. And let's just get right into it. What are some of the things that you're doing, and what exactly is the Swine Medicine Education Center?
Well, the Swine Medicine Education Center is a cooperative effort between Iowa State, College of Veterinary Medicine, and AMVC, which is a practice in central Iowa, a fairly progressive veterinary practice that also is actively involved in swine management and also does a number of diversified support roles for swine industry. So we originally communicated a vision in 2011, Dr. Pat Howard did, about the future of veterinary education relying on centers of specialty where most universities won't be able to support all of the infrastructure for every species. So
Right.
It made sense to start establishing centers of excellence. And he communicated that vision, and almost instantly AMVC stepped forward and said, we want to be involved. So our structure is Iowa State provides curriculum, structure, and organization. We maintain compliance and accreditation with the AVMA. We maintain integration with degree programs. AMVC gives us access to a modern production system and all of the logistics and support around that so that we can get our training done on real active farms, and we can take advantage of naturally occurring production situations to train students.
So really, you're providing that hands-on total production system for the students at Iowa State, and not having to put up the bricks and mortar and things to that nature, and actually getting them out involved in industry.
Exactly. What it allows us to do is our curriculum goal would be to be able to demonstrate live and digitally every swine medicine technique, and then provide students a place to practice that. Not just Iowa State students, but students all over the U.S. And what our cooperation with AMVC allows us to do is they ultimately influence about 125 million pork meals. And so they have all the infrastructure associated with that. And we can get students involved in every aspect of it. Transportation, logistics, choosing vaccination regimens, responding to disease outbreak when that occurs, and exposure to all phases of production and all types of production equipment. And so it gives them a realistic venue to diagnose and treat and handle veterinary issues.
Things that we didn't have when we went
Right.
through veterinary school. Seemed like those were the types of things we learned our first year out of veterinary school.
Right, exactly. And that does fuel it. I have some practice background, and so do my colleagues here that work on swine at Iowa State, and in our connection with AMVC, I mean, it keeps us right in the forefront of what the critical issues are and what things we need to address.
Well, it's an outstanding program. Look forward to learning more. We're going to take a break. And when we come back from the break, we'll have more with Dr. Locke Carricker here at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine.
This Meet the Future Veterinarian is brought to you by Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Rebecca Calder was recently awarded an AmStut scholarship. She grew up in Vermont and fell in love with cows at the age of 5. In high school, she spent a weekend with a veterinarian and knew her future was sealed. In college, she received an internship at the Plum Island Animal Disease Center. Rebecca hopes to work in a dairy or mixed animal practice in the Northeast after graduation.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Hi, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman and Colorado Rancher. Join me each week as the National Cattlemen's Beef Association brings you the latest updates in industry information and market news. Plus, each week we provide important educational information and features on cattlemen from across the country just like you. And we can't forget our favorite cowboy poet, Baxter Black. Join me for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, debuting Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, right here on RFD TV.
Beef producers asked for it, and Norbrook delivers. Introducing new Enroflox 100, the newest addition to your arsenal for treating bovine respiratory disease. Enroflox 100 is an FDA-approved, ready-to-use injectable antimicrobial solution to treat BRD associated with Mannheimia hemolytica, Pasteurella multocida, and Histophilus somni in beef and non-lactating dairy cattle. Administered SQ as a multiple-day therapy. Consult with your veterinarian today about Enroflox 100, the new choice. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Norbrook Laboratories, manufacturers of Enroflox 100, the newest addition to your arsenal for treating bovine and swine respiratory disease.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Locke Carricker, who is an associate professor here at the College of Veterinary Medicine at Iowa State University and the director of the Swine Medicine Education Center. And we were kind of talking about that, what we're trying to get done with the students in here.
Yep.
And so maybe you can elaborate a little bit more about some of the programs and the key concepts and things to the nature that you're promoting within the education process.
Yep. The advantage that we have by taking most of our training to the field, especially in that 4th year of veterinary education, is that we're working directly with producers and clients on their issues, and it allows us to address those issues in their natural context, where issues like welfare and human resources and antimicrobial use are all directly interconnected, and they're really not concepts that can be addressed independently because they all influence each other. And unfortunately, up until that point, when you're in a classroom, you tend to take individual ideas and train on those ideas, and it's really important for students to see the complexity of all of it together. I think you mentioned before the break that we kind of learned in the past those things during our first year, because that's the first time you were immersed in the system and all its complexity. And so our goal is to get swine-interested students exposed to that beforehand so that they understand some of those relationships and how they have to consider the broader context when they're addressing disease and things like that.
That absolutely amazed me when I got out into practice, that things that occur on Friday and Saturday can affect what happens on Monday with the health of the animals, and it might not have had anything to do with it, just the human interaction and management and weather and different things that you can't control.
Absolutely, and I think getting immersed in those is the best way to learn about them, and we learn as instructors too. And an interesting side note about working in this environment is a lot of times the students, when they're out investigating and asking questions, they get more information than you or I would get out on the farm, because they're the producers enjoy sharing what they do with the students and helping them learn and pointing things out. And there have been many situations where the students come back with more information about the case than I probably would have gotten if I'd have been out on the farm. And so
Yep.
a lot of benefits there.
It's hard to imagine all the things, the complexity that go into production and the simplicity of production until you've been out in it and really starting to key in on the things that can make a big impact. We tend to sit there and argue about which vaccine or which 4-color ad we see.
Yep.
When it's pretty minimal on making that choice.
Yeah, and oftentimes there's a lot more benefit to helping people figure out how to apply and implement in a system. I mean, in a complex system, having the right vaccine or treatment is really a small portion of the battle. The rest is figuring out how to get it done when you're dealing with weather constraints, or how do you recognize a new disease like some of the issues we're dealing with now, and figuring out how to help producers do that is critical.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll get more into some of the different things that you're seeing now in current production and some of the problems and issues and how you're handling them.
Yep.
Thanks for being here, Locke. Thank you for watching DocTalk. We're going to take a break. More with Dr. Locke Carricker from Iowa State University in just a minute.
I've always had an interest in care for the animals and their well-being. Really what we want to do is work hard to eliminate as much feedlot lameness or beef cattle lameness as possible.
How we feed a cow on a daily basis can not only have daily effects, but they can also have long-term effects on claw health, reproductive performance, mammary health, all of those factors as we look at the inputs and the response that the animal has to what we feed them.
When animals have adequate intake of effective nutrients, we take care of the immune system and performance follows. It's important that the consumers understand our dedication to the well-being of these animals.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
TrueTest Group, weighing systems, electronic identification, EID, electric fencing, and dairy automation systems help farmers and ranchers around the world manage the performance of their livestock for ultimate profitability.
Folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Locke Carricker, who's the director of the Swine Medicine Education Center here at Iowa State University. And as we were talking during the break and during our discussions today, PED is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to talk about anything else when everybody's wanting to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, it really is, and it's something that's worked its way into just about everything we do day to day here. We're actively involved in research to try to figure out interventions, whether that's from a biosecurity or disinfectant perspective or survivability of the virus. The diagnostic lab here working on testing and detection methods and strategies, and it's really highlighted the advantage of this collaborative effort with AMVC because and other producers and clients that we work with, we've really been in the middle of this process the entire time as it's gone along. And our students have learned right along with us as veterinarians and faculty what the clinical presentations are and asking questions about how it's moving and how to detect it. So it's been a unique opportunity to witness that and to be engaged in teaching essentially in real time as this outbreak has occurred.
Tell me a little bit about the clinical signs and what you see in these piglets when they succumb to this diarrheal virus.
Well, what we're seeing clinically is a fairly devastating diarrhea that that ultimately leads to a significant dehydration of the piglets, and that results in shock that they just don't survive. And so we see incredibly high mortalities. It's not uncommon for farms to fail to wean pigs for several weeks even. And so the pigs that do survive for a period of time after the initial outbreak are challenged, and so they require more attention to detail in terms of effort and environment and feed management and those things to get them started shortly after weaning. So there's certainly been that direct impact on the pigs. It's been a pretty significant challenge, I think, for employees and producers from a morale standpoint. We don't have all the answers we need to control it yet, and so we're working to gain those, but I think it's frustrating for producers right now when they feel like they don't have a very good tool set to stop spread of the virus. And so we feel a pretty significant sense of urgency here to try and find those tools and get those to producers so that they can move back to more normal operations before we had the PED issue to deal with.
It's hard to imagine. You know, we have great biosecurity in our systems, and it just kind of teaches you we always can continue to get a little bit better every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the one, if there's a positive to this circumstance, it's that it has really required us to question everything. I think every aspect of production, biosecurity, housing, equipment, personnel management is under the microscope right now, and that's how an industry grows and develops and becomes better at what they do. So it's unfortunate we have to have a challenge to do that, but that's something positive that will come out of it.
Well, it's leadership like what you're supplying and leadership that your program's supplying that is just invaluable to our industries, and we really appreciate that.
Well, thanks.
We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll have our final segment here with Dr. Locke Carricker from Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica, Inc.
Hello, I'm Dr. Nels Lindberg with Animal Medical Center and Production Animal Consultation. Quick tip for the day is, how often are you cleaning your water tanks? I'm a stickler for water tank cleanliness. Water drives consumption in cattle. Water also drives health. With inadequate consumption of water, we have decreased consumption, and we're darn sure going to have decreased health. It's a must that we clean these tanks once a week, all the way up to we have our round tanks, stock tanks, whatever it may be. Stock tanks maybe not once a week, but we need to make very sure that those tanks are clean, free of algae, free of debris, free of feed and grass. We want to supply good, clean water. So go out today, check those water tanks, clean them, keep them as clean as you can. We want happy, healthy cows. Thanks.
It must be an inherited trait, because I have never wanted to do anything other than be in the cattle business. And it's interesting, as I have grandchildren now, little bitty ones, all they want to do is go to the barn, swing a rope, and be a cowboy. It's something, it's a lifestyle that we have, the way we make a living, obviously. But it's really more than that. It gives us the opportunity as a family to be able to work together and enjoy each other's company and make a living at the same time. We've been using Triangle for years, and the reason we do it's been safe and effective, and we're going to continue to do that. We'll put the cows in the chute twice a year, spring and fall. 100% of our cattle get vaccinated with Triangle.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new Vet Gun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The Vet Gun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it from an ATV, on horseback, or just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML Vet Cap is used with the Vet Gun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. Vet Gun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Locke Carricker, and we're at the College of Veterinary Medicine at Iowa State University talking about a tremendous program and a national center of excellence that's been established here at Iowa State University and is being directed by Dr. Carricker, the Swine Medicine Education Center. So, when we were talking, you said, one thing about it isn't just for Iowa State. This is a national, international center of excellence.
Exactly. We're relatively new, but in a short period of time we've been around. Last calendar year, for example, we provided a little over 30,000 student contact hours. We have postdoctoral students who are working on applied research. We've had visiting veterinary students from 17 of the domestic veterinary schools in North America, and then veterinary students and graduate veterinarians from 27 different countries that have visited for training, and we've actively presented training in other countries as well. So we feel like it is an international resource. We want it to be a national and international resource. And the great thing about it is when students come to Iowa State from other schools, they help us raise the bar locally. I mean, it's a win-win situation for us. It's not a one-way flow of information because students have to work to get here. There's travel. They have to pay additional tuition in some cases when if we don't get it sponsored. And so they make a big effort to get here, and they're serious about the training when they get here.
How do they get a hold of you? I mean, what's the best way to contact? To go on the web?
Yep, go on the web, smec.iastate.edu will get you to our website. You're welcome to email me directly, and all my contact information is on the Iowa State website. If you search for Swine Medicine Education Center, you'll find our website. And if you can just initiate contact, we can take it from there and find a spot for folks.
Wow. Well, I think it's incredible, and I think that you're right. Not everybody can provide everything, and so kind of collaborating and getting. I'm gonna be excited to get some of the K-State students up here and participate in this because it really sounds like a tremendous opportunity.
Yep.
Any final comments about the program as we wrap up the show?
Well, I appreciate you having me on the program and getting a chance to talk about the center. We're really, really excited about the center. It's growing, and there's a lot of interest, and there's a lot of enthusiasm, fun to work with motivated students, and hopefully in the long run we improve the health and welfare of pigs. I mean, that's really what we're about at the end of the day, and so I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that.
Well, I think it gets back to whenever we look at the consumer's view of pork products, beef products, health is the center to animal welfare, food safety, sustainability, and that's what we do every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's why we talk about number of meals impacted, because it really is about directly impacting consumers that way.
Well, thanks for being here today. You did
Thanks
a great
for having
job.
me.
Thank you for watching Doc Talk. If you want to know more about what we do, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Be sure to always work with your local practitioner. We've enjoyed having you here watching DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you down the road. Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.